Grr, brains.
Hey guys, it's Creep again, and I just wanted to give a quick video because my inbox is blowing up. There are a lot of people trying to record off the official Xbox One 360 stereo headset adapters, and many people are having a lot of issues because they plug in their splitters, they do things which should be proper, and they're not. Something's going wrong. Either other people can't hear them speak, they can't hear other people speak, something goes wrong down the line. Physically, it looks like they've done everything correctly. They've got their Y splitters in the right spot, they've got their cables all set up, and things just aren't working. So I needed to bring in some sort of an explanation to try to help people that say it doesn't work when it does work. One of the things that I need to bring up is the official documentation, or what's written about the Xbox One 360 adapter. That's on the actual Xbox homepage. You can go there, look under accessories, find the adapter, and go down to the features. This is the most important thing about this entire setup and why most of the stuff is failing. At the very bottom, you can see it clearly states any 3.5 millimeter stereo headset that uses the CTIA plug standard can get stereo game audio by plugging into the adapter. Now you notice it doesn't mention the mic part of that, alright? But that little statement about the CTIA plug standard, that is the most important thing in this entire setup, and this is why so many people are having failures. So I'm going to try to begin this explanation by as simple as I can to try and help people see it in form, right in front of them, a picture. That way it can make sense. There are two standards going on right now. They're in the 3.5 millimeter world. There is the CTIA standard, and then there is the OMTP standard. Now the CTIA standard is fairly common here, or actually very common here in the United States. Things like iPods, iPads, most of your phones, Xbox stuff, things like that, they use the CTIA standard. Okay. Now over on the Asia side, China, Japan, places like that, a lot of them use the OMTP standard. Now this is pretty relevant because Sony, go figure, they use the OMTP standard on a lot of their devices, like the Sony phones, their Sony handheld devices, Sony PlayStation, things like that. To make this clear what the difference is, if you look at the diagram, you can see that the CTIA standard and the OMTP standard have reversed mic and ground connections. Okay, so if you're plugging CTIA to CTIA, then it's going to be fine because your mic and mic are going to be lined up, your ground and ground are going to be lined up, you're going to get a clear signal. If you mix the two, then your mic is now going through the ground on one end of your link, and the ground is going through your mic. That's why people can't hear you. If you look at the pictures, you can see that audio right and left, they stay the same no matter what. So you're going to keep getting your stereo sound, and that's what the adapter says you're going to get. You're still going to get your stereo sound, but it doesn't mention the mic because I think Microsoft probably is aware that there's a good chance you're not going to get your mic. And this is well, hold on. I'm not going to say this is false advertisement. I don't even think they purposely did it, but there may have been some knowledge here they didn't want to share because it's very confusing. So now in this next picture, I've actually got a CTIA and OMTP cables on top here, and then you've got the wiring down below, and this shows you how they line up, and you can see that they do cross ground to mic, mic to ground. This isn't going to work. And in the next picture, I'm going to show you actual cables, and as you can see, they look identical. Now the one without the mic, you can tell it doesn't have a mic because there's no connector for it. It's all ground down there. And this particular example, this is why you can see you can plug this in, you're still going to hear your left and right stereo sound, no problem, because a mic is not even involved in this. And on the other two plugs, even though the ground and the mics are reversed, again, your stereo is still going to work fine. This is not going to cause an issue if all you want to do is use your headphone. This only causes an issue when you try to use your mic. Now, where does this leave us? How do you fix the problem? Since most of your Y splitters are going to be coming from China, Malaysia, places that have cheap manufacturing, if you look online and find a Y splitter on eBay or something, it'll go for 90 cents, okay? Most likely it is going to be an OMTP standard, and it's not going to do what you want. You may get lucky and you might find one. There's a huge problem in this scenario because most Y splitters, they're just thrown in a little bin. Like if you go into Radio Shack, they're all over the place, but they never specify what standard they are because they're listed as stereo Y splitters. So because of that, the stereo is always going to work. They're not worried about the mic. They list them as stereo Y splitters. I hate to tell people this. It's going to be one of those things that you're going to have to keep buying and trying and trial and effort trying to get the combination of things that work, because you have to remember the link from your headset all the way into the controller, it has to match. Your mic cable has to, no matter how many couplers, how many wires are involved and everything, the mic has to stay on the mic line the whole way. If there's any cross, if it goes into a ground somewhere, you just broke a connection. It'd be no different than if you just cut the wire. It's going to stop. So the mic has to stay mic your entire chain. The ground has to stay the ground the entire chain. If you manage to keep a solid chain all the way, no matter how many links or couplers, wires, everything, if you can keep those together all the way, then you'll be able to achieve what you're looking for. Now, I was lucky enough, I did list parts in the description of my videos, and these are parts that I am using. Now, when it comes to 3.5 millimeter, I found one that did work. It was actually purchased off of Amazon, and it was for a Sony Xperia. The link's in the description. It was not the standard Sony OMTP. This is actually it needed a different adapter, and that one did work. However, something has gone awry with that connector. That one is no longer working, so I can't recommend that one. You can try it. I don't know if it's just a cheap part and it failed. I don't know why it failed, but it doesn't work anymore. So when it comes to the 3.5 millimeter running straight from the adapter into your headsets, I'm a little bit iffy. I'm using my Turtle Beaches right now because the Turtle Beach side of things, the Xbox One 360 stereo adapter comes with a 3.5 to 2.5 millimeter adapter. Apparently this adapter is a CTIA to OMTP converter or a universal converter, because of the fact when I use that, I have more success with the parts in my line to getting this to work. I have tried several adapters that I bought off of eBay that were 2.5 to 3.5 or 3.5 to 2.5 and plug them in, and they don't work at all. They just don't work. But the one that came with the adapter, that one does work. And I actually did find one on eBay. I'm going to have to go back through my purchase list. It worked. It cost me about $5. That one works. I'm going to have to go through and list that one in the description. But if you've got the adapter, then you have the 2.5 one. The only reason I bought an extra, I don't like how that little 3.5 to 2.5 adapter is constructed. It sticks out the end. It kind of sits on your belly if you've got one. It bends the cable. I just know that part is going to fail, so I wanted to buy an extra, because currently the only way I see of getting an extra is buying another adapter, and that's $30. So I'm trying to find a solution just to replace that cable. But needless to say, I am truly sorry, guys, that this is not being easy, that this is not something that is easy to do. This falls on Microsoft's head. Okay, they knew about this. These are design engineers that came up with this. This entire fiasco is Microsoft's fault. I'm not jumping on anybody as a fanboy. I love Microsoft products. I love my Xbox, but this is a way bigger pain in the ass than it should be. And I really think they should have made it a lot easier for people to do what they want to do instead of cramming Upload Studio down their throat. And that's what this is about. The reason they don't want you using your capture cards and doing what we want to do is because they've invested so much money in Upload Studio and Twitch. They want you to use the Kinect. They want you to use their products to do their stuff that they have hyped, and it doesn't work worth the crap. They don't want people like Elgato or Hauppauge or any of those. They don't want them making the money. They want to make the money. So all the game capture stuff, they want to make the money on. They don't want other people to do that. That's why we're having these issues. So until Microsoft has an epiphany and decides, you know what, our shit doesn't work, we kind of have to deal with this. Maybe things will change soon, but I just don't see it anytime soon. I'm currently running the April update. There weren't any changes there. It's already coming up on 5-6 months now. I can't see anything changing anytime soon. Maybe someone will come out with a game capture card that will work around all this stuff for us, or include all the connections you could possibly need to just plug it in and go. And if Elgato does that, or Hauppauge does that, or whoever comes out with a video card that lets, a video capture card that lets you do that, fuck it, I am on board, because all these cables are a pain in the ass, and I just want something to work. So I'm hoping I help someone out with this explanation, and if you have any comments or if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. But guys, really, a lot of this is hit or miss. You're going to have to be doing some guesswork here, because literally this does suck, and I apologize, and I wish I could apologize on behalf of Microsoft, but they knew this problem was here. So good luck to y'all.